All right, it's been a very long time since we have done a deck profile. We're going to be profiling my deck from the regional this weekend. Now, this deck is built with the intention of, one, for me to test gauging the format, and for two, to see where I stand with Cognitive Theorio in this game. If you guys know, it's been a very long time since I've actually played competitively. I am getting back into the groove of things. I've been testing Cosmo, obviously, and Pepe. I'm also not too good with those decks because I don't actually have the money to afford them right now, so you take what you get. Yes, I own a giant hand, but that's besides the point. I'm not going to sell that shit to buy a Cosmo deck, especially when the deck's not that good. The deck is very fragile as it is. So, we did play Barrier Statues, went 2-2 at the regional, ended up dropping. My round one up... Okay, well, first off, let me say this. If you're playing this deck, you better be playing it in an event that you know damn well you're going to be playing meta all day. The minute that you play offbeat, if you don't play Pepe or Cosmo, you will lose. This deck does not generate enough advantage outside of that to do it. I lost to Madoche. I also lost to Cosmo side decking Road to Kree, but that's just bad luck on my part. The thing is, with this deck, you have no matchup against other decks that are anti-meta. Hell, I lost to Yasenju Kaiju today at Locals. I beat Ignites round one, and then I lost to Yasenju Kaiju. I mean, the fact that they can bounce all my stun monsters, and then most of the Kaiju can special summon around the statues, there's not shit you can do. And it's very important to realize that when you're looking at this deck, it is very, 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 very important that you are fully aware of only playing meta with this. So, let's dig into this. 3-year statue. You can't play wind right now because of Magic Specters. Okay, the light and dark statues, obviously you're not going to play for Cosmo. If you want to play wind, okay, but if you play Magic Specters, you lose. Sorry, fam. 3 fire, 3 water. If you guys don't know, you can only special, or both players can only special summon monsters of the same attribute. So, of course, earth, fire, water. Yeah, you can XYZ up, it is a thing, but you better be going earth, fire, water. I didn't exactly do that, but you do have the option to do that. And then, of course, the real MVP, my homeboy Pachycephalo. This is my monster lineup, pretty much verbatim for the OCG build. Actually, the main deck pretty much is a straight copy of the OCG build, to be honest with you. Triple Duality. Yes, that is a disgusting rarity. This card is good for filtering. Triple Upstart, usually board these out for better options, games 2 and 3. Game 1 just uses it as a speed game to get the resources. Triple Mirror Moonshield. Honda, make sure that you read Moon Mirror Shield before your Denko Sekka attacks into my guy, and you try to honest and then lose to Mirror Moonshield. Just saying, fam. So, this card is insane. This is your win con. Unless you're playing against Yasenju and they bounce back your monster and this just falls off. True story. And Triple Messenger Piece. It's disgusting how almost every one of my opponents had to read this card. The amount of people that aren't aware that this card exists right now is also really horrible. Most of my opponents were like, monsters with 1500 more attack can't declare an attack, what's going on? This is a very good Yu-Gi-Oh card. So, you have to play the card. I cited it out quite a lot, actually. It's only really good for games 1. And notice I said games 1. Triple Mirror Force. This card is insane. Blazing Mirror Force. This card is crack. If you don't have these, you definitely should be picking them up. I don't know what Konami was thinking when they made a Mirror Force that says, hey, I'm a Ring of Destruction as well. This fucking card blew out so many games. The fact... Well, one of the problems that this deck has, I can tell you straight up, is generating damage. These sons of bitches only have 1,000 attack. I don't know what you're expecting to do, but this card accelerates game state by 1 turn for you. And that's something that a lot of people don't seem to realize, is when you're looking at this card, if you have a barrier statue, obviously your opponent's Cosmo's not going to special summon, but you have to look at the maximum amount of damage that you can take while playing the defensive game as well. You have to be more cautious when playing this, because you're going to burn yourself fast in your opponent game. If your opponent has an answer to your statue, you're just fucking shit out of luck. Traps, also. This card was also really good. A lot of players, game 1, don't have an answer for this. So you can just keep cock blocking your statues. My round 1 Cosmo opponent was so disoriented by this card that he's like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, scrap iron, scrap iron, scrap iron. So good. Triple Metamorph. If anyone thinks that this card is good, this card is fucking shit. I fucking hate this card. This card does fucking nothing on the defensive. Yay, my barrier statue becomes 1300. Oh wait, and it's dead. It does nothing. It's a good card if you're on the offensive taking care of an opponent's monster. But defensively, something that this deck needs, not good. I'm considering fucking storming over this shit. I mean, I understand this card's fucking good. Yes. But I found myself boarding it out for Compulse, Ring of Destruction, and Raigeki. They're better cards. Solemn Warning, we don't have Judgment. And then Triple Huge Revolution's over. This card is good and bad. Okay, so this card stops Raigeki and Dark Hole. That's the only reason why you play it. You have to protect your deck. You're playing Protect the Castle. It's very straightforward. This card is super terrible. I usually board it down to 2 or 1 copies depending on what I'm playing against. But you want to play draw into this. If you don't draw into this, it sucks to be you. But the issue I was having with this was pretty self-explanatory. I would draw 2 or 3 copies in some games, which shouldn't even be happening, and then you just cry because you can't do anything with it. And then the one game that it is useful on your opponent's Raigeki, you've already won. So my extra deck isn't relevant, but I'm still going to show it anyway. Rhapsody, Cowboy, Dweller, Emerald, 2 Castel, Giant Hand, Diamond Dire, 101, 2 Gigant, Ragna, Diamond Crab, Big Eye Dracocyte. I just straight took my gadget deck. So that's the main and the side. Excuse me, main and extra. Side deck. This side was built more in a rush, but it was more or less for my theory. Triple MST, obviously they're not in the main, you're going to side them. The card's a powerhouse, at least until we get the one that destroys 2. Raigeki, once again, power card, need to be playing it. Dimensional Fissure to further anti-meta the deck. Not letting your opponent engage in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really good. 2 Storming. I didn't have the 3rd at the time. I don't know if I would have played the 3rd. I was debating on playing Max C over these before the regional. I only sided this in against Senju Kaiju at locals today. And let's be real, is that even a matchup? Traps. Ring of Destruction. Hey, it's Blazing Mirror Force. But chainable. 1 Torrential Tribute. Triple Imperial Iron Wall. If my Cosmo matchup was as degenerate as I thought it was going to be, I had these. But the matchup's not as hard as you think it is. 1 Bottomless. 1 Compulse. And 1 Macrocosmo. Same reasoning as Dimensional Fissure. You just don't want your opponent to be allowed to engage in Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially in something that's a little bit more roguish. But like I said, this deck it's just a deck. I can't be any more self-explanatory with it. This deck is only good for the current meta. Obviously, things are going to shift. I think your barrier statues are good. Necros aren't a deck. If you play against Infernoids, oh fucking well. And then if you play against Matashay like me, you lose anyway. It's just because the more back row that deck can generate, as opposed to you, is actually really insane. Slight card choices, variations might apply, but the theory behind the deck is very sound. I don't know if I'm going to be tinkering around with this for much longer, this format. It's a good deck, but I would like to get something that's a little bit more push and go, instead of just Protect the Castle with these. I'm not even playing Safe Zone, who knew? So guys, leave a comment down below on this deck, tell me what you guys think, and I am out. Later guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up this video to show your support, and please check out Vanguard 40 for Cardfight Vanguard, MKohl Games for miscellaneous trading card games, and No Limit Gaming for a brand new series of Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks for watching.